What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday. I met him at the hospital.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack?
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell. I'm not really sure of what I saw, but it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed... Did you not do anything to help?
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, it's exhibited at the center of the...
Hold on. The shambler...
Who else to paint such...
It is my only lead at this stage.
Then you have paid no... For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gap.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I back. Forgive me.
Francis, I should never let them take you away. What have I done? Everything is my fault.
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable, but Fuller was able to save her kidney.
Private property, twice. Aggression, insulting behavior, and to top it all, arson. We also found poor widow Sanders lying in her drawing room.